Soon I will be the Emperor's closest confidant.
Hello everybody, how are you? And welcome back to the channel for a brand new Star Wars Battlefront video. 2 weeks ago, we took a nostalgic trip back to Battlefront 2015, listing some of my favorite things about the game. And while I still love Battlefront 2015, I think it was a pretty good game, it still has tons of flaws that many of us overlook. So without any time to waste, let's jump right into it. The time to kill in Battlefront is just absolutely ridiculous. Some weapons are fairly balanced like the E11 or A280, but other weapons like the E4 and T21 are just way too overpowered. By the time you're shot, you have no time to react as you'll be instantly killed. There are also way too many one-shot mechanics in the game. You have the pulse cannon, scatter gun, and pretty much any burst weapon in the game. And while they are fun to use, it certainly does get extremely annoying, especially in the case of the E weapons. If you don't run either the E4 or E3, you're at a massive disadvantage because you won't be able to kill enemies fast enough. I mean, what if an enemy you're facing has an E4? They're going to one burst you in the head before you can even get a shot onto them. This means pretty much everybody in the game runs one of these two weapons, pretty much resulting in your death anytime you get in a fight. I'm fine with heroes one-shotting enemies because that balances out, but getting one-shot by a regular player left and right is a bit of a stretch if you ask me. The #1 killer of lobbies does seem to be these overpowered weapons. Hero tokens. Ah yes, the iconic hero token. Excitement and joy when you see it and pick it up. Rage and anger when somebody jumps in front of you and steals it, or you pick it up and die. The hero token system is just the worst way to choose who gets to play as the hero, cause it involves no skill whatsoever. As long as you generally know where the token will spawn, you'll probably get it, and this is why the system sucks. In Battlefront 2, it's always the best player who gets to play as the hero, cause they have to play well in the match to get it. Battlefront 2015 basically gives the person crouching waiting for the token to spawn in, or a person lucky enough to walk over it. In Battlefront 2, I usually get the hero 9 out of 10 games. Compare that to Battlefront 2015, where I probably get the hero 2 out of 10 games. You can tell the system is flawed. I am going to make a video covering hero token spawns, as I know it's really frustrating for some of you that have never played a hero online. Star cards. You see, the main problem here is not the cards themselves, it's more of the imbalance between cards and the necessity of some cards compared to others. Let me give you an example. Due to the game's really fast pace and fast time to kill, almost every single person in a lobby chooses to use the jump pack card. Well, not using that card when half the lobby would just put yourself at a massive disadvantage. When's the last time you saw anyone in the game maining a loadout that didn't have a jump pack in it? The same goes for the back to bomb. It takes you from 1 HP to 130 HP in a second, so why would you not use it? There are a ton of unique and really fun star cards in the game, but unfortunately you're always going to have to sacrifice a few spots for the meta. If you don't have a jetpack, you're just at a massive disadvantage, and if you can't heal yourself instantly, well, you're gonna die a lot. Vehicle balancing. If you've raged at strafe runners and ATSTs in Battlefront 2, then you, my friend, might have a cardiac arrest in Battlefront 2015. ATSTs are super powerful and can drain a hero's health completely. You can see in this clip in the background that there's this scumbag chasing me down and took all my health away in a matter of seconds, and there was literally nothing I could do about it. Strafe runners are also super annoying, as your chances of killing them are even lower since they suck at the game and decide to camp in the air. I can hear you all typing saying that they're super easy to kill with a vehicle loadout, and I agree. The problem is that you cannot change your loadout mid-game, so if you don't have an ion neutralizer or ion torpedo, you're basically screwed. I think they did a slightly better job balancing strafe runners in Battlefront 2, but made ATSTs even worse. If I'm brainstorming ideas, vehicle weak spots should do way more extra damage, and starfighters should have their health half. Hero balancing. In the last video, I said that not a single hero in Battlefront 2015 is bad. While I still stand by that statement, there are heroes that are just completely overpowered and heroes that are just good. Passive abilities are a good example. Bosk is the only hero in the game that does not take permanent damage, while Jin just gets more melee attacks. The heroes that are top tier can be at times unkillable, and lower tier villains can fall in a few minutes. Leia and Palpatine can get 1/3 of their health back with a push of a button, while Krennic can get overwhelmed super easily with his slow blaster. While I think all heroes are designed really well and all fit their own scenarios, there are just some heroes that are way too powerful, and I think that's that. Glitches and exploits. Battlefront 2015 is probably one of the buggiest and most glitch-riddled games I've ever seen. Literally nothing you have experienced in Battlefront 2 is as bad as Battlefront 2015. Launch Anakin looks balanced compared to some of the stuff you're going to see in the background footage. There are hero skin glitches that let you do this, and cause everybody in the game to only see this. There are exploits that let you do this, and get hundreds of kills, along with destroying an AT-AT walker in seconds. And of course, there is the Lando Power Blast glitch, which brought the insta-kill perk from Call of Duty Zombies, brought it into Battlefront 2, and landed it right next to Lando for him to pick up and spam his secondary fire faster than you can leave the match. I don't know how some of these glitches came into effect, I just don't. Thankfully, I don't see too many people glitching in Battlefront 2015, which actually lets most of us play the game. 6 years ago, if you found a glitcher, you just found a new lobby. Now that's not really an option. I pray that if we do get a Battlefront 3 from EA, they don't let this kind of stuff happen for the 3rd time. Game modes. Some game modes in Battlefront are really fun, like Walker Assault, Cargo, and all the DLC modes. I love these game modes and I could play them all day. But then there are other ones, like Heroes vs Villains and Droid Run, which are just not fun at all. There's quite a bit of mediocrity when it comes to game modes in Battlefront 2015. I think Supremacy is designed super weirdly in this game, and I much prefer the style we got in Battlefront 2. Starfighter Assault is also really bad, not only due to the lack of objectives, but also the weird starfighter mechanics in this game. Let's not forget Hero Hunt. Even though I personally love it, I know that 80% of the community fucking hates this game mode, and there's a reason for it. Almost all these game modes were upgraded in the next game, so it's not much of an issue for me. Helmetless Stormtroopers. I have not forgotten about this addition to the game, and I'm here to remind you all about this tragedy. During the launch of the game, the Empire didn't have many customization options, they had around 3. So DICE resorted to adding different face options, removing the helmets. It was extremely unusual and uncomfortable to see dozens of stormtroopers running around without their helmets. Thankfully, the man, the myth, the legend, Dennis Brandveld, removed this option entirely and gave the Empire their helmets back.
Were you responsible for helmetless stormtroopers, or did you have anything to do with them?
I was responsible for removing them and putting their helmets back. And that was very controversial back then. DICE was really afraid about me removing a bunch of options from the game, and I said, trust me, put the helmets back on. And I was right.
I really try hard to figure out about these horrifying additions, and I am really glad they did not last long. Lightsaber combat. There are 2 lightsaber heroes in Battlefront 2, Luke and Vader. When they're fighting stormtroopers or rebels, it's really fun, but when they're fighting each other, it's just really painful to watch. Lightsaber attacks consist of the same 2 swing animations over and over again, and each time you hit an enemy, they stutter back. Force abilities have no ragdolls, so they just kind of deal damage. The redeeming factor from lightsaber combat is the saber clashes. That would happen if Vader and Luke used their heavy strike at the same time. They couldn't be damaged, and most people just watched from afar in amaze. Other than that, the saber combat was just complete garbage, which is one of the reasons Heroes vs Villains was one of the worst game modes back in the day, and it's one of the best game modes right now in Battlefront 2. Even though Battlefront 2015 still has these massive problems, I still very much enjoy the game, and it's one of my favorite games of all time. Every game has their problems, and I'm glad to see that DICE tried to fix most of these problems in the sequel. Despite this video being on the negative side, if you are a fan of Battlefront and are sick of Battlefront 2 but never played this game, I highly recommend doing so, as it will make you enjoy the title so much more. Battlefront 2 is way better than Battlefront 2015, but sometimes it's great to revisit old charms like this one, even if it can be annoying at some times. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. See you guys next time, bye, and may the force be with you always.